Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for jumping on and joining us on this beautiful end of May day on the 30th. We know we got busy months for everybody trying to close out here, so your time is valuable to us. Got Bobby Swartz here at Starin. I will be hosting special guests here, a repeat um, based on some great product advancements and some relationship updates we want to have. Our guest here, Gino Zahari from Logitech. He is the Senior Alliance Manager for Video Collaboration at Logitech. Good friend of mine. He's got a lot of things going on at Logitech. And we've already prepped him that any one of your questions that you want to answer, anything is on the table. I told him that exactly 30 seconds before going live, so don't hold back. When it comes to questions, you guys and gals all know the drill. Down at the bottom of your Zoom tab here is the Q&A. Go ahead and hit that. You can start asking questions at any time, and we'll try to respond to all of them, as always. So ask anything you want. And with that, I will turn it over to Gino to give a few updates on Logitech and give a quick introduction for those of you who have not met him before. And then we'll head on over to our Q&A section. So Gino, take it away.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, everyone. I'm excited to be here. So my name is Gino Zahari. I'm one of the 3 or 4 global alliance managers that look after our partnerships. If you ever visit Logitech.com and go to the Logitech Collaboration Program, or LCP we call it, all of our manufacturing brethren, if you will, are part of that to complete solutions for Logitech video collaboration. So if you can imagine, we're kind of like a boat anchor unless we have great software that can power our devices, right? Or carts that can hold our equipment, or furniture that our equipment installs in. So I'm one of those partner alliance managers, and I'm really responsible for the Zoom relationship here at Logitech. And that spans across sales, marketing, and engineering. I spend a lot of time on the engineering side with my team, making sure that our devices work in harmony with the Zoom software. Then, of course, different sales and marketing motions. But yeah, that's my story, and excited to be here and ready to provide some updates on our solutions for you today. So.
Very good. Thank you, Gino. As is accustomed, we will have the wonderful Melissa Dillman moderating here through our Q&A panel. So go ahead and hit that panel. I see some questions already coming in here, which is good. And Melissa, let's go and get this firing away, and let's see if we can start off soft. Looks like we have some easy ones to get this thing rolling today here. So.
Don't forget, Bobby, that I am suffering from the plague, so I come to you with the gravelly voice, and I'll try to keep the coughs to a minimum. So thank you. Welcome, everybody. Gino, great to see you again. Everybody's excited about InfoCom getting ready to come up, and of course we're going to have questions about that. But the main question, the first question, is we've all heard about it. Some of us have actually got to touch it and see it. Tell us about the tap, Gino.
It's an exciting. It's funny. We announced TAP at ISE in Europe earlier. Well, I guess it was a while ago, right, last year, and it was in the theme of bundles and solutions, right? So TAP is no more than a touch display that gets its presence, or it gets its visual cues, right? What's on the screen from good software, right? From application providers who have written to our device. So if you were to turn off TAP and not see any imagery on it, what is it? Right? It's a display link attached touchscreen, right? So it's a USB attached display, right, for Windows, because as we know, Windows supports touch displays. And inside of it, there are certain sensors and devices that our application providers, like Zoom, right, like others, have written towards to kind of maximize the feature set. One of them in particular for Zoom is the ultrasonic speaker, right? We all know about direct share when we're talking about Zoom Room. I walk into a room with my desktop client, right? The microphone of my desktop client hears this tone from TAP and automatically lets me know that I can start a presentation by just, touching a button on my laptop or saying share screen. There's actually a motion sensor, so when I do walk into the room, it wakes the monitors up, right? And there's also an HDMI capture card built into it, so that if I wanted to go through the old way of sharing, that is plugging in an HDMI cable into my laptop and getting my content up on screen, Zoom supports that, right? So it's more of a kind of a utility tool, right? But it also presents a very nice interface in a way that's designed for the meeting room. And I think up on the main, at least what I'm looking at on the main slide here, we have some nice mounting options for it. We've really thought through how this would be deployed in a conference room, right? From cable retention to even the cable that we've made that accompanies TAP when you get one, right? It's a 10-meter optical cable that has heads on it that do the magic of converting digital information to light and the conversion back to the other end, so that you don't need to use USB extenders, right, to get that feed depending on where you put TAP in the room. But if you go to our website, we have some nice data brochures that will walk you through the different installation options for it. But we're just really excited about it. How it's coming to market, though, is in the sense of bundles, right? And as we know, Starin puts together tremendous solutions, right? We're not just talking about TAP as a standalone product because it needs Zoom to work, right? But we put together really nice solution packages, if you will, that follow the PSO spec from Zoom, but also creative bundles that you might be thinking about on your own. With the bundle itself, with TAP, we've paired it up with Meetup and Rally, okay? And then Rally's our bigger room system, right? Rally or Rally Plus that deals with small, medium, and large rooms, where Meetup is more focused on huddle rooms like I'm in today. And of course, a compute that comes with Zoom Room preloaded that runs Windows IoT. So you'll be able to offer your customers a full turnkey solution, and when I turn on that computer, Zoom will just automatically populate the screen, and off you go. There's no software download that needs to happen. It's just out of the box, ready to go. Zoom considers it a kind of vendor-led kit, and that's a track we follow at Zoom pretty closely, so that we're not asking the customer or even you as installers to do much more than make sure the wire management's all correct, and you just power it up and you can experience Zoom Room. So that's the big news, TAP.
That's awesome. And so you announced TAP, and we got a lot of inquiries about it, which was great. The next question, of course, that comes up. So when will we be able to see TAP for Zoom? I know you're doing this in stages, so.
Yeah, we have. So you can imagine there's two different development tracks, us making the actual product, right? And Zoom's software that would recognize TAP when I plug in that USB cord into the host computer, right? So the software today, if you were to go to Zoom's May release and look at the release notes, you'll see a statement saying that TAP, this release of Zoom is now in support of TAP. So, which is great. Then there's this little disclaimer. It says, as long as the computer meets the minimum spec. Right? And so Zoom is defining that minimum spec outside of the NUC that's been certified with Zoom, right? So of course, in the development process, we provided them the computer that we're going to provide so that they can make sure it meets their requirements for dual screen, that are the two screens at the end of the room, right? And the third screen, TAP, all right? So Zoom will be defining the exact compute should the Intel NUC that we've provided not fit the organization that you're trying to offer the Zoom Room solution in, but they enjoy our cameras, right? The availability, it's coming together. So what I mean by that is by June 10th, I say June 10th, meaning kind of the mid-mark of June, we will be in GA for it. And it's a matter of filling pre-orders, and there are some pre-order outlets today. We'll see more and more come about, but we're looking at the mid-June is when this product will be in the hands of customers. So
awesome. And so now there's 3 different flavors of the TAP, am I right?
Well, not so much 3 flavors. There's the same TAP, the same compute. It's a matter of what Logitech Conference Cam you want to bundle with it, right? So earlier I mentioned we have the small, medium, and large offer, and you'll see those kind of what we call core kits or core base kits up on our website. So if you go to logitech.com, search TAP, you'll see the data sheet. And if you download the data sheet, you'll see the reference of 3 different bundles, if you will. And all that is really the right camera for the right space, right? TAP and the computer kind of stay constant, and the software stays constant. It's a matter of what camera, what microphone technology do I need in a room that's 20 by 20 or 10 by 10, right? So we've kind of taken some of the guesswork out of it and pre-built bundles that say, all right, for the small kit, we're going to use the Meetup product, which is what I see on the screen. That's the small kit bundle that you're looking at. And then as you move up in size, you're going to move into Rally and Rally Plus. Now, Zoom PSO, right, the professional service organizations have a design spec Where today, if you were to go, you would see these exact same bundles, but with maybe the iPad, right, or a restaurant controller of some sort. TAP will then soon replace those, and that will truly be a vendor-led solution from Logitech. So Melissa, to your question, it's really a matter of which Logitech conference cam is best for the space, and that's how you would choose either the medium bundle or the large bundle, right, or the small.
Okay, so depending on which conferencing solution I'm using, the same TAP works across all
Yep.
of the different conference platforms?
Exactly. So if we take Zoom, if we look at just say non-Zoom, we're also have a similar motion, right, with Microsoft Teams, right? So Teams room system. And there's another track with Google, with the Google Meet platform, right? Well, Google, of course, runs on a Chromebox. So imagine the Nook, instead of being an Intel Nook, it will be a Chromebox that will be available. But that same small, medium, large philosophy kind of spans across all three of those go-to-market partners that have taken advantage of TAP. So Zoom, Microsoft, and Google. So.
Excellent stuff. So on the screen, we're looking at some various mounting options.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about how we're going to mount the TAP?
Yeah. So if you look at TAP, let's say the picture in the middle of our screen, not the upper left-hand corner, that would just be TAP sitting on a table. And out of the back of it, you would see a power source. You would see that 10-meter optical cable coming out, right? Looking for the computer. And then there would be the third optional cable, which would be the HDMI ingest cable, should you want to deploy HDMI capture at the table, right? And not use a wireless sharing solution like from Zoom, for example. So that would be, cables coming out of the back end. Underneath TAP, and I wish I could actually pull one off of the image up there, there's a hole where those cables can now eject not out of the back, but really out from underneath. It allows you now to wall mount the solution. And we have a wall mount accessory available, which allow you now to run the conduit, the cables in the wall, which are Planin rated and ECA rated, so no problems there. And then run the power to it. So you have wall mount options, and then the other option is, well, I want the TAP on the table, but I want to actually mount it. I don't want it to move around. Maybe it's at the head of the table or on the side of the table. We have swivel mounts, one which is pretty flush, like you see in the picture there, and then a riser mount, which actually rises it up. So if I'm installing it on a table that's maybe 6 feet wide, a real big boardroom table, I don't want to stand up to see what I'm touching, right? I just want it to be angled up a bit more. So we have a riser mount. So we have the wall mount, right? The table mount and then the table riser mount are three different mounting options from Logitech. And if you, again, go to the site, you can download the data brochure, which will actually provide more details on how that works. It's basically a stem that extends down through the table with cables that come into it, and then a little thumb screw that holds it in place. Very well thought out.
I like it. So we have a question that's asking about the power. So just to be clear, is it a separate power cable with the optical?
Yes, it is. So you have,
and then a third is optional if you want HDMI.
If you wanted HDMI capture, but exactly right. Yeah, it's not. We found that we just couldn't get the juice that we needed through that USB data cable. However, we don't have to worry about cable extenders with this great optical cable that we'll have. But you do need to power it. In most rooms, we're finding, and we did our research, we're okay, right? There's power at the table to keep those laptops charged and whatnot. So we'll require one of those receptacles to plug into.
That is very cool. So the cable, the optical cable that comes with it, let's say, it happens all the time, right? I have a bizarre room and maybe I'm, 30 feet away. What are my options on using the optical cable?
Yeah, so you'd be right 30 feet, you would be at the limit of that 10-meter cable that we ship with it, right? So in the box with the TAP, you'll have this 10-meter cable. In July, August, I'd be careful because my product management sit outside of this room. We'll have a longer cable, right? A 30-meter cable that will be available. And again, when you see the cable and you read about it, you'll learn a lot more about what we're doing. There's a lot of magic happening into the heads of the cable. Now, as far as tensile strength, to be able to pull it through conduit, it's like 200 Newton. I can't remember. It's crush proof. It's a very well thought out cable. It looks more like a piece of wire rope than it does a fiber cable. So get that out of your head as far as what it would look like. Very, very strong. But we will have a longer options, and we're working on even longer options beyond 30 meters here. So between a 10 meter and a 30 meter cable, I think you're going to address most of your conference spaces. It's a long cable.
That's awesome. Do you know how big the head is on the end of it?
I don't know the exact dimensions. I believe they're actually on the data sheet. It's no bigger than, it's it looks like that.
So it's going to go.
Yeah. Yes, very standard. Yeah, of course we know that there are other cables running through that conduit as well, right? So we made it as small as possible. Yeah, they're not very big. Not the same thickness as a traditional USB head, it's just a little bit longer that you might find with the metal jacketing around it. So
that's perfect. It's a great question, right?
Yeah.
So here's another good question. I tell you what, we get some good ones. So here's someone asking, they're familiar with the Smart Dock, and they're wondering how the tap will differ from the Smart Dock.
Great question. I'm glad so if you think about Smart Dock, it held a Surface Pro, right? It was a partnership with Microsoft. We developed a housing, if you will, that took a Surface Pro, and then it gave more I/O or ports on the underside of Smart Dock to enable dual monitor displays. Traditional Surface Pro has like a display port out and a 40-pin connector and one USB port in, right? So we did a lot of magic within the Smart Dock to allow 3 different USB ports in and 2 HDMI ports out, and of course power to keep everything going. And then you had to deal with getting your HDMI back to the monitors. And we had an extender box that solved that problem as well using category cable. If you think about it, we basically eliminated the Surface Pro. Surface Pros aren't widely available globally. And with concert with Microsoft, we decoupled it. So we said, look, we have this device called TAP. Right? This is before it was even announced and showing. They realized the sensor requirements that they had in the old Smart Dock. As far as when I walk up to it, I want Smart Dock to wake up. So that's why there's a motion sensor built in the TAP. We worked on those solutions with Microsoft so we could decouple the whole Smart Dock environment. So now you have an Intel NUC that meets the Microsoft spec to run the Teams room software loaded on it, and the same topology that you might see with the Zoom room that we just described. So Smart Dock is still on the line. Think of this as kind of the second reiteration of Smart Dock, now decoupled, leveraging TAP as a little bit more universal device, smaller, a little bit more better form factor for the table, and off you go. But it's the same software that's running on that Surface Pro is actually running on that NUC that you see pictured.
That is very cool. So, Gino, I got to tell you, we have great questions.
Yeah.
I love our group.
I'm waiting for the next one. Like, oh boy, where are we going here?
I know, we're making you sweat. Yeah. Now, and just so you know, we're all friends here, and we will not tell any secrets that you wish to give out. We'll all be very quiet about it, I swear. Hold on. I have another one here that was really good.
I just wanted, while you look up the next question, I wanted to say that the image that I'm looking at with the meetup and the note to the left, that is the Teams room system interface that you see on that, by the way. And the one on the left-hand corner of the screen, that's a Zoom room. So you can kind of see how we're showing both there.
Excellent. So next question is about deployment. And so is this a plug and play, or how much training will people need in order to put the TAP into their systems? I mean, is it going to be something that they've got to have special training for, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, I would say from a peripheral device standpoint, no. And the reason I say that is if you've seen any of our instruction guides on how to put together Logitech peripherals with a computer, it's like a bag of Legos, right? It's very easy step-by-step. Plug in this, plug in that, right? Not a lot of magic going on there. When these kits are released, there will be a setup guide online that will walk you through those various steps. So if you lose all your paperwork, you can just go to a URL, pick the kit that you purchased, and then follow the design guide or the design layout. as far as knowing how these platforms work, the software makers, I do encourage you to learn more about Zoom Room or Microsoft Teams Room or Google Meets hardware environment as far as their backend and allowing these rooms to have a presence on the network and to register them with the calendar. That's kind of the other half of it, right? And that's when we do an elegant handoff back to Zoom or Microsoft or Google to take over those network deployment questions, right? But from a hardware standpoint, it should be as simple as plugging it all in per the instructions, right? Based on your great layout as a reseller or the resellers that, of course, are deploying these, following the right spec from the right group, depending on that environment, and then turning it on. The good part is if there's a problem with the Nook or the computer, the Chromebox on the Google side or the Nook on the Teams or the Zoom side, Logitech's on the hook for that, right? So you're going to call Logitech and say, my computer's not booting up, or I'm finding that, USB port 2 isn't working or whatnot. We will handle that RMA, of course, with Staren and take care of that as like you would a Logitech product. So you're not on your own with the computer. It's a Logitech's Nook that's part of this kit. We'll be there to support you all the way through it. But it is probably advisable to become accredited or learn more about the Zoom environments. And Staren can help you with that on the Zoom side, of course, and learn and read up and learn more about the Microsoft Teams Room system and how that works in the Microsoft world. That would be my only suggestion.
So we don't have to be master programmers or coders in order to make this work.
Yeah, no, you don't. Think about it as what you're seeing on tap is a native application. There's no Logitech magic. There's no middleware of software whatsoever. So, it's funny. As we're out talking to end users, they're like, all right, well, show me how I can escape this screen and go into the utility sections of Windows. Well, it's a matter of how would you escape the application to do that same process. What we're finding is as we expose that to IT directors and IT personnel, they're very familiar with a Windows box, right? And going into security policies and settings, and that is their domain, right? It's not your traditional controller in the sense that there's a controller module somewhere on the wall that's populating a screen and I have to program it. You can't change it. That is the Microsoft experience, that is the Zoom experience, and there's also the Google experience that is pretty much locked down in a kiosk mode environment. So, yep.
Excellent. So what about adding a third-party control? Can I add a third party that's controlling my room lights and all of that? Or?
Third-party controller. Yes. So yeah, on the Microsoft side, they have a little bit of a different philosophy. They've allowed Logitech, because we're in this program, the Microsoft Teams Rooms program, to allow a window. This window basically can populate itself with control options, right? So because we're not a room controller environment, meaning we don't control lights, blinds, heating elements, order coffee or Uber. I mean, you can do a lot of crazy things with these controllers, right? But that real estate is controlled by Microsoft. So there is a plugin that we've partnered with Extron to write code and software to allow that window to exist. Zoom's philosophy is a little bit different. They have an API philosophy, right? And I think we've all seen different API-driven controllers that are out there. Atlona, Extron even has one as well, where basically they bring to the Zoom API to manifest that same GUI that we're so familiar with that's up in that left-hand corner to allow other control, right? But in this native experience, it's up to those providers from Microsoft, Zoom, and Google that would allow real estate on those screens within their application for room control. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
We have a question, like we barely got the tap ready to roll, and someone wants to know, are there any plans to come out with a table hub that accepts 2 HDMI inputs with switching?
So a table hub with HDMI switching. So I can dance between HDMI. Well, again, it goes back to, it's not so much on our roadmap from a device, like here's a third-party device that you could deploy into any room environment that would allow, we do have the same chipset that's inside TAP that allows that HDMI ingest that I mentioned is a product called Logitech Screen Share, right? That's the breakout box that we have. And that device has USB on one end and HDMI on the other, and it needs to terminate into a computer so I can force my HDMI through that computer, put it up on the screen. So we have no plans to create a dual version of that where I could plug in two computers. It would then come down to the software allowing which feed do I need to accept, right? In that case, it would be Zoom. Now in Zoom, of course, you can wired connect, right? You can share, we can all share, and our content can be up on the screen. Folks like Barco ClickShare, right? Barco, they provide a hub that can take advantage of that HDMI ingest cable, either through screen share or through tap, and allow multiple people to share outside of these platforms. Hope I didn't lose anyone there. What I mean by that is we have an integration with SmartDock, right, and Barco ClickShare Hub that allow you to feed content through the Barco Hub into the Teams room or the Skype room experience. If you didn't have Skype room system, it would still be the same thing. I have a computer in the room. I need to be able to ingest multiple feeds of content. That's where Barco ClickShare comes in. That's how we leverage that partnership with Barco.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick, so we see the tap. We see that it can do all kinds of super cool things. If we were to bundle it up, let's say, I don't know, with the Zoom, and I want to do a small room.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea what MSRP is going to be?
Yeah, so excluding monitors, right? Display, the big beautiful display at the end of the room, right? It's a pretty simple formula. For a small room solution with Meetup, tap, and that cable I was mentioning, the AOC cable and the Intel NUC, and of course with the single HDMI cable for a display and all the power adapters, everything that comes in our base products anyway, you're looking right around $3,000 MSRP, right? That's for tariffs and all this crazy stuff that's going on right now. And then as you move up, right, with the Rally system, meaning a single speaker and a single mic pod, right, that has that nice 15-foot radius or diameter around it, and the Rally camera, which is part of that Rally kit, if you will, you're at about $4,000. And if you wanted a second mic pod with a second speaker, which is really Rally Plus, with the same NUC and the tap and all the cables, you're at right around $5,000. And of course, Staren will help kind of set that that dealer buy price and what you might present. But we try to avoid the MSRP when it starts coming to bundles because there are some variances like the computer, right, that are a little bit out of our control based on how the ODM is helping us make it. And so
but at the end of the day, we're talking about getting an entire room solution without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
You know, we're a feature-rich solution without that huge brand new car price tag. So that's pretty awesome. And that's sort of what I think people want to know. Like, am I buying, you know, a Rolls Royce price, or am I in a price range that my clients are used to? So I think it's really cool.
The 3, 4, and 5 are numbers that we really worked hard to try to make sure could we do this. Even like, for example, even with the large bundle, we include a mic pod splitter, which is just a nifty way to not have our mic pods daisy chain together, right? That comes with it, right? So we put in really the necessity pieces besides the display that allow you to deploy the room without having to add too much extra cost to meet the different configuration demands of the table or of your client's environment, right? So
that's excellent. All right, I'm running out of time, and I have all these questions. We do have one question asking about the ultrasonic direct share, which you did address. The tap will feature that.
Absolutely, yeah. If you think about it, and we kind of glazed over it with Zoom Room. And Zoom Room Controller, as we all know, is deployed either in iOS, Android, or Windows, right, as a separate pad or controller that's talking over the network to the computer that's running the Zoom Room software. The ultrasonic speaker that's built into the tap device, it works, absolutely. What I mean by that is the computer that you're going to be receiving with these kits have the Zoom Room Controller and the Zoom Room meeting software running as unified software, and that's what's in that May release that's up on Zoom's website today. Okay, so there is no need to manage a controller installation on a bunch of different touchpads, right? Think about it. The Intel NUC and the tap controller it's a USB connected device. It's the computer in the room that you're managing. But the ultrasonic speaker works great. Direct share, proximity sharing is a feature that works right out of the box.
And if people haven't experienced that yet, I strongly encourage them to do so. The first time I used it, I was just like, well, how am I going to do this? And then it was like, whoa,
It,
that was so easy.
it really is amazing. And for those who aren't familiar with that experience, to put in perspective, if you have Zoom, a personal license on your computer, you got your little Zoom window to start join meetings, and you're sitting in a Zoom room, there's a button on your main console. You don't even have to be in a live meeting. You just click share, and the ultrasonic is what tells everything you're in that room, and your display is on that main display presenting without having to do anything else. You don't even have to be in a meeting, just by being in proximity. Mm-hmm. So it's a really, really cool and mesmerizing feature the first time you use it. Like, what happens if I click share? Oh, I'm sharing and I didn't do anything. It really is remarkable.
It is cool. I don't want to leave out, and we're running out of time, I don't want to leave out, obviously, Rally and Meetup, two horses in the stable that are awesome to work with. And I'm sure we'll see them at InfoComm. Mm-hmm. Great products to engage. I just knew that the TAP was going to be, because it's the newest baby. It's the one everybody has a lot of questions about. One last thing is, where are we going to see the TAP at InfoComm?
Yeah, so we'll be, you want me to answer that, or you want to figure? Yeah, we'll be right next to Starin and right next to Zoom. And I can't remember our booth number, but we're 36 something. I
have it for you right
now. Thank you.
We are in the triangle of technology right there.
Yeah.
So Logitech will be in 3681. Yeah. We're diagonal across from you next to Zoom, and I will have, because Gino is an awesome person, I will have a TAP in the booth, functioning, working in one of our pod sets, so that'll be great. Either one of us you can come see. We'll be happy to show it to you. Logitech is in 3681. This is going to be a very popular little area, I do believe. So that's really exciting. I also want to say thank you, Gina. Logitech has been a very supportive sponsor. Making donations personally from the team there to our Starin Cares project. If you're not familiar with it, Starin Cares, we're trying to raise money for a service dog for a veteran with PTSD. We're working with a not-for-profit, New Horizons. They raise service dogs at the show. So we're raising money for that. Gino, your guys have been great. They've made considerable contributions. We can't say thank you enough. We're super excited about this. So come see us. Be sure to stop and see Logitech as well. And Bobby, oh, wait, one last thing before I let Bobby give us a winner. The other thing we thank Logitech for, Logitech has become one of our premier sponsors of the Starin Learning Curve. Gino was nice enough to join me for our first course. We taught a Zoom Master installation course at our headquarters. It was an awesome time. Logitech, though, is a proud sponsor, and they'll be sponsoring our classes throughout the rest of the year. So you guys are just all over the place, Gino. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no problem. And to all your listeners, I encourage you to attend the training courses. They're wonderful. I mean, it's hands-on, and all those little nuanced questions that you probably have in the back of your head certainly get answered there. So
it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. So thank you, Bobby. Do you have a winner for a gift card for us?
I certainly do. Winner, Matt Ehrig. Come on down. You'll be getting a $50 Amazon gift card. Mark Decker will be confirming that with you, so keep your email out. They'll be coming directly from Amazon here in the next 24 hours. Congratulations, and thank you for attending. I know we got a few more questions here, but we are going to run out of time here, so we'll address those directly for you as follow-up from this, either from us directly, from Logitech, or from your business development manager team here at Starin. We'll make sure we get back in touch with you quickly. For those of you who had to dodge a phone call or take something real quick during this, might have missed something, or for those of your counterparts, you think it might be valuable to get some of these questions and answers, the video has been recorded, it will be posted, and we will make sure to get a link out to everybody so that you can share it. Feel free to share it within your organizations. And again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your day to join us. Thank you, Gino, for taking time out to join the teams here and all of our partners so that we could get some of these questions answered, get some of these burning desires on tap understood, and get things specified. Just so you know, for anything Logitech, one other service Starin has for all of our resellers that are on the call and end users alike. If you're working with a Starin partner, we do have Try It to Like It's, which are risk-free demos. Place purchase order, request Try It to Like It. You can get a risk-free 30-day RMA open on any of the Rally, Meetup, Tap products that are coming out. You can get those placed because, you know, seeing is believing. Getting the products in your hands or your customers' hands is absolutely critical. That's the service we provide for all the key Logitech products here at Starin. Just send us an email, sales@starin.biz, use our forms, or just reply back to any of the messages. We're happy to help. So thank you again, everyone. Melissa, thank you as always for the skillful and dutiful moderation.
And don't forget next month's town hall.
Oh, next month's town hall, like there's a giant slide staring. This town hall next month on June 27th will be a little bit different. We're going to be doing an Infocom roundup of everything that's happened, all of the new services, technologies, and really, for those of you who are at the show, to be a good recap for what was most important or what we found most amazing. And for those who are at the show, this might be a great way to refocus. This will be hosted by myself, Melissa Dillman, and Chris Netto.
We'll be showing all the B-roll footage from our AVRV.
There will be plenty of antics, videos, and engagement galore. So look for that sign up and feel free to join us and share. Thank you, everyone. We'll get this closed. We'll get the recording rendered, and we will get that out to everyone so that you can review and share with your teams. Thank you again for your time, and have a wonderful end of May, everyone. Take care.